Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I wanted to give a quick update on the story I covered the other day, the whole drama that went down on Twitter. So just for a quick recap, Jeremy Boring revealed on Twitter that they came back to him and said they're not going to air the documentary because of misgendering. For example, a father referring to his own daughter as she because she identified as trans. There was another occurrence of somebody having an argument with a trans person.
You know what? It's
No, what you're spouting is
no, it's not. Trans women are women, sir. That sign is
I've been doing this 25 years. I've never had a problem with anybody, whether they're gay, transsexual, anything.
Now, you're saying councilman, this individual was saying, I'm a woman.
Right.
And you said you're not a woman. How do you
Okay.
know that person's not a woman?
How do I know?
Yeah.
Well, common sense.
trans women are women.
Doesn't the science say that if someone identifies as a woman, then they are?
No. Now, that's completely bogus. I don't care if you think you're a sheepdog and you come into my store. It don't matter to me. Just don't come in and try to shove that down my throat.
If it makes someone feel better, what about their feelings?
I don't give a about their feelings. I'm old.
What about in the Star Wars universe? Jar Jar Binks, pansexual, do you think? Transgender?
Why would I even care?
If it's his truth.
Well, it ain't true.
You're not a scientist, you're not a gender studies major, or are you?
No.
No? Okay. How do you know that you're a man?
How do I know that I'm I guess because I got it.
So that was their reason for initially refusing to air the documentary, for basically pulling the plug on the whole thing. Then they said they will air it, but it will be censored. And basically, even Daily Wire followers will not see it in their feed. You're going to have to go, on their page and look for it. So that's obviously heavily censoring the documentary. And word got back to Elon, who was out of the country, and he came back and said it is a mistake by many people at Twitter, his own employees, his own executives. So a lot of people were thinking, well, who are you employing and what direction is the platform going to go in? And I ended the video by saying that time will tell. But once it airs, then we will see whether it's been censored or not. And it wasn't looking good. Once it aired, it really wasn't looking good. And I thought, wow, this is basically Twitter 1.0. So I'll just read a couple of tweets that were circulating at the time, mainly from Matt Walsh, and something I saw when I tried to retweet What is a Woman. So first we had Matt Walsh, who tweeted the following: "Our film has been posted for a couple of hours. You cannot retweet it. It will not appear in anyone's feed. It has been flagged as hate speech. It has been blacklisted from the trends list. It still has nearly 900,000 views." So it wasn't looking good. And then I retweeted the movie, and this is what I got. "Visibility limited. This tweet may violate Twitter's rules against hateful conduct." So when I saw that, I had flashbacks of Twitter 1.0, little PTSD from that whole experience. Then I thought, well, Twitter is basically in the gutter. So Elon tweeted this about the movie, and this is concerning because this is coming from Elon himself. So you can't say it's your employees who are doing this when this was coming from you yourself. "Commenting and deliberate sharing will be allowed. Sensitive content just won't be pushed to people unless they ask for it or a friend sends it to them." Then Matt Walsh quote tweeted it saying, "Elon, have you seen the film? What is sensitive about it? There is content widely shared that shows up on feeds every single day that is far more outrageous and offensive than anything in the film. What specifically is the problem with the movie?" Good question. So yes, for me, that was confirmation that Elon has basically gone down the path of how Twitter was initially. And it made many people question. Jeremy Boring brought up a good point. You spent billions upon billions buying this company to restore free speech. It was the whole concept of misgendering that triggered, Elon to buy Twitter in the first place, because that was the main reason why people lost their whole accounts. They had their whole accounts taken down because they so-called misgendered somebody. I remember Elliot Page, for example. If you use the wrong pronouns for Elliot Page, you would have lost your account. Or at the time, Elaine was the person's name. Now, Twitter is not a conservative platform, obviously. It's for everybody, regardless of political, affiliations. Truth Social, on the other hand, although I'm sure it's for everybody as well, but it's considered more of a conservative platform. That's Trump's, platform. Twitter, is more about, this is free speech, regardless of your political affiliations. We're no longer going to censor. We're no longer going to suppress conservative voices. We're going to treat everybody equally. It wasn't as if we were expecting Elon to take a side and say, you're conservative now. No, we know that he doesn't consider himself a conservative. He never has. But he believes in the First Amendment, as every American should. So yes, it raised questions. Elon decides to retweet "What is a Woman" to his 141 million subscribers, saying that every parent needs to see this. So I'm sure when he saw the movie, he saw that it was actually educational, it was enlightening, and it was revealing a lot of truth that has been suppressed for the longest time. Obviously, Matt Walsh was going around asking the question, what is a woman? It was pretty funny, especially when he went to a country in Africa. That was hilarious because he was telling them what's going on in the US and they were laughing their heads off. They were like, what is this? And, his personality is very sarcastic and he's just asking the question, straight face, but the underlying sentiment of it is pretty funny. But he goes and speaks to doctors who reveal, even doctors who are liberals on the side of the people who are doing these procedures. He speaks to them, he lets them talk, and he lets them say, what the procedure entails and what their views are on this procedure. And he just lets them talk. And it reveals so much. And it's pretty disgusting. It's pretty horrific to hear that these people are mutilating children for their sick experiment. I'm not going to get into it. Hopefully you've seen the movie. So that's all it takes. 141 million. You can't ask for more coverage than that. And that was basically Elon sticking it to the woke employees who try to implement all of this censorship for a movie or documentary that's actually educational. It's not bashing trans people. It's saying what the reality of these procedures are. And perhaps we might want to think twice before pushing it onto children when they can't consent. That's all. So Matt Walsh, pleasantly surprised perhaps. It all turned out to be successful. He said, "We are now Elon's pinned tweet. It's been a wild 24 hours. It began with Twitter labeling our film hate speech and completely suppressing it, and ends with all suppression lifted and Elon Musk himself tweeting out the film and urging people to watch it. A huge win." Absolutely. And then somebody asked, 2 people left Twitter's trust and safety team in the past 12 hours. I'd like to know if that's related, because that would be hilarious. And then Elon replied, director related. Or is that supposed to mean directly related? But either way, yes, it was related. So let's look at this. Twitter head for trust and safety resigns after Elon Musk criticizes handling of transgender content. Twitter's head of trust and safety confirmed her resignation Friday after owner Elon Musk complained on the platform about the company's handling of transgender content, specifically a documentary called "What is a Woman?" Musk was responding to complaints from Daily Wire co-CEO Jeremy Boring, who said on the platform that Twitter was suppressing posts about the documentary, claiming some of its contents as hate speech. Musk also promoted the documentary on his Twitter page, writing, "Every parent should watch this," and retweeting the Daily Wire's tweet with the full movie. Boring thanked Musk later Friday, writing, "An insane 24 hours. Thanks to everyone who helped us stand up for free speech, and to Elon and Twitter for making it right." And yes, ultimately, he made it right. It was very unpleasant initially, but they did make it right. And this is just free speech. This is the First Amendment. That's all this is. This isn't, some reports are saying Elon Musk retweets anti-trans movie or anti-trans content. That's what some of these liberal publications are reporting. And no, this isn't about anti-trans or anything like that. If you think children should have access to these procedures, why can't we talk about what these procedures entail? Why can't we talk about how much money these procedures generate? Why can't we talk about what it means to consent? These are important conversations, and they're not rooted in bigotry, or discrimination of any kind. This is simply being able to discuss and educate one another. And this is the characteristics of, the liberal media. They want information suppressed so that you cannot make up your mind. A lot of people don't even know what they're campaigning for. They want children to have access to these procedures, but they don't even know what these procedures entail. They don't even know the consequences of these procedures. And many doctors don't know the consequences because it's all experimental. We don't know the long-term effects of taking, synthetic hormones for decades for the rest of your life. The fact that you've created a wound, you're calling it a vagina, you created a wound that needs to be dilated, every day, probably forever, long-term at least. Having to redilate something so it doesn't close up because it's a wound that's designed to be healed the way the body works. We don't know the long-term implications of that, having to deal with that. In confirming her resignation, Ella Irwin wrote, "So 1 or 2 people noticed that I left Twitter yesterday. I know there's been a lot of speculation regarding what happened. Was I fired? Did I quit?" She added, "I did resign, and this has been a once-in-a-lifetime experience, and I'm thankful to have worked with this amazing team of passionate, creative, and hard-working people. We'll be cheering you all and Twitter as you go." Irving didn't address the criticism of the handling of What Is a Woman documentary. So look, was she fired? Did she resign? Did she choose to resign, or was she told to resign? We don't know. All we can do is take her word for it. We know that she is gone, and there's another executive who went also. A second executive, AJ Brown, whose job is to reassure advertisers that Twitter was a safe place for their brands, also decided to quit, the Wall Street Journal reported. A third person, a program manager who worked on brand safety, said on her Twitter profile that she was now ex-Twitter. Musk said in a tweet Friday that the departures were related to his decision to allow the conservative outlet, the Daily Wire, to post What Is a Woman, a decision that thrust Twitter back into the raging cultural debate. So that's 3 executives gone. Could it be that while he was away, they went too far? They brought back censorship. They had people wondering, what was going on, considering Twitter was supposed to be a free speech platform. People were even questioning, why did he buy the platform in the first place then? He should have just allowed it to carry on censoring people and suppressing conservative voices or anybody who doesn't go along with the mainstream. And, it wasn't a good look, but he made amends. So the person related to advertising also left, and that's also a concern for Elon because, it's an indication of how profitable the company is going to be. Is it going to win back advertisers, especially the ones who left initially? Is he going to be able to win those advertisers back? I'm sorry, if you're saying that a movie where a father refers to his daughter as she is offensive, then there's no hope. There's no hope for the First Amendment. So it's good to see that, it's been protected, and getting rid of these executives, for lack of a better term, is a great way of protecting that. So it'll be interesting to see the direction that Twitter goes in. And so far, it looks like it's continuing to go in the right direction, even though it looked a bit shaky for a minute there. So let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. Take care of yourselves, and God willing, I will see you in the next video.